fly back to New Zealand this evening, and 6 players will be heading on to Sri Lanka for the white ball series. We've got a few on this morning, so we're just going to limit it to a couple of questions each, and I'll just move through individually, one by one, and we aim to be wrapped up in the next 15 to 20 minutes. I'll record the conversation and send it out to you individually as well. So we'll get started.
Recording in progress.
Akash, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, sure. Hey, hi, Ajaz. Good morning. Congrats on making history. This is Akash from cricket.com. So I have just a couple of questions for you. So could you just talk about the influence Rangana Herath has had on this side, both in terms of batting and bowling? My second question to you is, from Sri Lanka to here, what has changed for the Black Caps? And could you just talk a little about the technical changes in terms of the bowling for spinners, and how different were you guys from the Indian spinners?
I guess firstly, Rungan has been awesome to have around the group. Obviously, he's got a wealth of experience in the subcontinent, and his record kind of speaks for itself, really, in terms of left arm spin bowling. So, I mean, for me, it was great to have him because we're quite similar, I guess, in terms of the style of bowling that we both bowl. But I think the biggest thing was he gave us a really good idea around the kind of fields to set in terms of Asian conditions and still be attacking, but also at the same time have our options to limit the boundaries as well. Because when you come to the subcontinent, it is sometimes about boundaries, and if you can limit that, you can restrict those, and then you force hard ones that can kind of bring about different challenges for batters. So different ideas, I guess, in terms of how to set fields, but also just knowing the conditions and how to I guess make the most of them. Also, I guess the second question, for me personally, sorry, can we go back to the second question again?
Yeah, sorry. So from Sri Lanka to here, what has changed for New Zealand? And could you just talk about some technical changes? Because Santner said he worked with Herath on some pace changes and variations. So could you just talk about that? And how different were you guys from the Indian spinners?
Yeah, I mean, I guess from Sri Lanka to here, I don't think we were too much different, to be honest with you. I think we played some really good cricket in Sri Lanka. But unfortunately, I guess, when you come to the subcontinent, the toss is so important. And bowling in the last innings in comparison to bowling in the third innings, especially on a turning wicket, can sometimes be the difference as spinners. So while I don't, I mean, while the results didn't go our way in Sri Lanka, I don't feel like we played too poorly or anything like that. Even from a batting department, we still put runs on the board. It was just a matter of, I guess, having a bit of luck our way as well in this series, especially. And then I guess work-ons as spinners. It's been different every surface, to be honest with you. Like Bangalore, obviously, probably we had to adapt as spinners because it wasn't really what we expected as spin bowlers, I guess. It didn't turn as much as we would have thought it would have. So it was a lot about bowling like we would bowl at home and in our conditions. But at the same time, I guess going to then Pune where we had a little bit more turn, but probably not that pace or that bounce. That certainly made it different again. And I thought Mitch used those conditions beautifully in terms of his changes of pace, but also then using his overspin to get that extra bounce as well. And then for me, I guess in Mumbai, having been here before, I knew that overspinning 45 would give me good pace and bounce off the surface as opposed to in the air. But I still had to adapt to, I guess, Rishabh's batting. So making sure that I was quicker and flatter to him than I was to most of the other batters, knowing that, bowling 2 good balls in a good area would probably go for 4 or 6. So I had to keep changing things up for him, keep him guessing in terms of, what's coming next. Look, I can't really compare us to the Indian spinners, if I'm honest, because those guys are world class. They've got world class records. They've played a lot of cricket and they've taken a huge amount of wickets for India. And especially in these conditions, they know exactly what they're doing. And at the end of the day, I guess it's just about us doing our things and working together as a group. And I think we did that fantastically.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Rajiv?
या राज भाई गुड मॉर्निंग। मेरा सवाल हिंदी में है आपसे, और सवाल ये है कि टर्निंग ट्रैक पे आमतौर पे सीधी बॉल या आर्म बॉल बहुत डेंजरस होती है। हमने पुणे में भी देखा जब सैटनर ने 4 एलबीडब्ल्यू और 2 बोल्ड किए, फिर मुंबई में भी सेम ऐसे ही था। क्या लेफ्ट आर्म स्पिनर्स के लिए टर्निंग ट्रैक पे सीधा बॉल या आर्म बॉल डालने के लिए आप लोग कुछ खास प्रिपेयर करके आए थे?
नहीं सर, ऐसा तो कुछ नहीं है, लेकिन ये क्या है कि ये एक कला होती है, हर एक स्पिनर के पास होनी चाहिए। स्पेशली आप अगर एशिया में आते हो, सब कॉन्टिनेंट में आते हो, तो जो मुश्किल रहता है वो है बॉल सीधा डालना। क्योंकि कभी काफ़ी विकेटों पे ऐसा होता है कि हर एक बॉल अगर आप टर्न करना चाहो तो टर्न कर सकते हैं, लेकिन जो चैलेंज है वो बॉल को सीधा रखना है। तो उसमें रंगना ने भी काफ़ी मदद की है। उसने भी थोड़ी नई टेक्निक सिखाई है हमारे को, थोड़े एक्शन में टेक्निक सिखाई है। तो जल्दी करके बैट्समैन को क्यूज नहीं मिलते। तो वो सब चीज़ें हमने प्रैक्टिस की है, और हमको पता था कि बैटिंग में भी हमारे बैट्समैन के लिए जो जो डेंजर बॉल है, जैसे कहेंगे कि वो जो सीधा बॉल जाता है वही डेंजर है। तो उसमें हमने ख्याल रखा है बैटिंग में भी और बॉलिंग में भी। लेकिन हाँ, कभी कभी क्या है कि नसीब से भी बॉल सीधा चले जाता है।
रजत भाई, मेरा एक सवाल और है। मुंबई में पिछली बार भी आपने 10 विकेट लिए थे, इस बार मुंबई की विकेट में क्या कुछ फर्क लगा आपको? और रेपुटेशन एक बल्लेबाज की, जैसे कि विराट हो, रोहित हो, या और भी तमाम जो इंडियन बैट्समैन है जो जिनके बारे में कहा जाता है, एक टैग लगा हुआ है कि स्पिन बहुत अच्छा खेलते हैं, ये कभी आप लोग के जहन में था कि स्पिन एक टर्निंग ट्रैक पे हम इंडियन बल्लेबाजों के खिलाफ गेंदबाजी कर रहे हैं? वो रेपुटेशन कभी जहन में रही है?
देखिए सर, अब पहली बात तो मुंबई मुंबई में जो आई गेस मेरा नसीब है वो ऊपर वाले से है। जो मैं मेहनत करता हूँ और जो मिला है वो तो आई गेस मैं काफ़ी खुश हूँ। लेकिन इंडिया के पास बहुत अच्छे प्लेयर्स हैं, लेट्स बी ऑनेस्ट। उनके स्टैट्स, उनके जो करियर है, कहेंगे सम ऑफ द ग्रेट्स। तो लेकिन मेरे लिए ऐसा था कि मेरा काम है मेरे मेरे बॉल डालना है और मुझे चैलेंज करना, और ये सब चीज़ें मैं इंजॉय भी करता हूँ। अच्छे प्लेयर्स के सामने बॉलिंग करना वो मतलब काफ़ी एक्साइटिंग रहता है कि आप अच्छे प्लेयर को बॉलिंग डाल रहे हो, उनको चैलेंज कर रहे हो, और फिर उनको वर्कआउट करना कि उनको कैसे डिसमिस करना। तो ये एक तरह से चैलेंज होता है, और अच्छे स्पिनर के लिए वो बहुत अच्छी चैलेंज होती है। मज़ा आता है उसमें, क्योंकि उसमें फिर आपको टेस्ट करते हो कि कैसे क्या करना है। दिमाग से थोड़ा ज़्यादा सोचना पड़ता है कि टेक्निक क्या है, सरफेस क्या है, पेस क्या है। तो वो सब चीज़ों में थोड़ा मज़ा आता है आगे एज अ स्पिनर।
We'll move to
Eddie,
yeah.
can I ask one last question?
Yeah, go for it.
अजय भाई, एक सवाल मेरा और जहन में आता है, खासतौर से लेफ्ट आर्म स्पिनर्स का जो रिकॉर्ड है इंडिया में, वो चाहे हम मोटी पनेसर देख लें या 96 का अगर टर्निंग ट्रैक की बात करें, इकबाल कासिम को देख लें, लेफ्ट आर्म स्पिनर्स एक हवा की तरह हो गए इन दोनों इंडियन क्रिकेट में। मिस सैटनर को हमने देखा 13 विकेट, फिर आपकी 10 विकेट हॉल हमने देखा मुंबई में। लेफ्ट आर्म स्पिनर्स के अगेंस्ट आपको क्या लगता है? लेफ्ट आर्म स्पिनर जब आप आते हैं प्रिपेयर होके, विराट हो या रोहित हो या तमाम जो इंडियन बैट्समैन है, क्या कुछ आपको लगता है कि क्या एक ऐसी चीज है जिसकी वजह से लेफ्ट आर्म स्पिनर्स के अगेंस्ट बार बार लगातार आउट होते हैं इंडियन बैट्समैन?
देखिए सर, लेफ्ट आर्म स्पिन आई गेस वर्ल्ड में मशहूर है, इसलिए क्योंकि एक तो हमारा बॉल राइटी से बाहर घूमता है, तो वो एक चैलेंज रहती है। और इंडिया की कंडीशंस और मोस्ट एशियन कंडीशंस में ऐसा है कि टर्न मिलता है आपको। तो उसमें क्या है कि आप वो टर्न का यूटिलाइज कर सकते हैं, उसको यूज़ कर सकते हैं। फिर जो अच्छे स्पिनर है उनको पता है कि बॉल को कब टर्न करना है, कौन सी पेस से टर्न करना है, कभी सीधा डालना है। तो वो क्या बैट्समैन के लिए, अगर आप अच्छे कंट्रोल से डाल रहे हो, अच्छे पेस से डाल रहे हो, वो काफ़ी डिफिकल्ट हो सकता है। अभी लेग स्पिन का अभी लेग स्पिन शायद इसलिए इतना सक्सेसफुल नहीं हो पा रहा है क्योंकि इंडिया की कंडीशंस में कंसिस्टेंसी बहुत ज़रूरत है। तो अगर आप एक जगह पे बॉल नहीं डाल सकते हो कंसिस्टेंटली और आपके पास उतना कंट्रोल नहीं आ पा रहा है, तो फिर क्या है कि आपके बैट्समैन जो इतने ज़बरदस्त है कि आप मिस करोगे तो वो बाउंड्री जाएगी या छक्का जाएगा, तो उसमें फिर आपको फिर प्रेशर आता है। तो आई गेस लेफ्ट आर्म स्पिन में कंट्रोल भी है और बॉल बाहर घूम रहा है, तो वो फायदा होता है।
Cool. Move to A&I Media. No. Faisal, over to you.
Thanks, Eddie. Hi, Ajaz. Uh, Ajaz, everybody from Latham and everybody in the team has talked about how it's one of the greatest series wins. But for you, what is one lasting image of memory that you take from the series? The first match when you bowled out India for 46, or the second one when you created history for a first series win in India, or that last one when you took that wicket and roared and everybody just came in. What is just one lasting memory?
Uh, Great question. I think it's very difficult to, I guess, pick one. Each one of them was special and unique in their own way, I guess. I think, the biggest thing for me is like we come here, we know how difficult it's going to be, we know how hard it is to win in India, and how special it is. But also we know that it takes a whole team effort, like we talk about, and I guess that's the memory for me, is that the memory is different people standing up at different times, when the team needed it the most, whether it be with batting, whether it be in the field, whether it be with bowling, and to walk away, I guess, having won a series in India is special, and it's going to be right up there, especially I guess in my career. But just for me, I guess coming back to Mumbai and playing in Mumbai has been special as well, and to be able to finish the series off in Mumbai, overall, I think I'll definitely cherish that as well.
Fantastic. And just one more. New Zealand have always been the perennial underdogs of cricket, but over the years, I find kind of you guys have enjoyed that tag. Just quietly come in, let the other team hog the limelight, but you take the honors and go away.
I think that you're talking about New Zealand sport as a whole there. I think, New Zealand, obviously, we're such a small population, and when we go up against, the big nations of the world, I think it's pretty easy to count us out. And one thing that we do have, I guess, in New Zealand is a bit of grit, and we just love our sport, regardless of what it is. We as a nation get around every sport, and for us, it's it's something that as a society we get right in behind. And as a team, when we are underdogs, we don't really mind because we're very internally focused, and we're focused on our things and how we can keep getting better and keep improving and keep growing. And I think that's what's seen the growth within New Zealand cricket over the span of, I guess, 20 to 30 years. We've seen how much New Zealand cricket's grown. It's a great culture, it's a great environment, and, the guys are really looking to keep getting better and keep shining on the world stage.
Thanks very much. We've enjoyed you here in India, and thanks, Eddie.
Thank you.
Thanks, Faisal. Appreciate it, mate. We'll move to Rasesh.
Hi, Ajaz. Congrats again. Can you talk about, I suppose it's the first time you sort of encountered Rishabh Pant in this series. Can you talk us through his knock in the fourth innings and what made it so challenging for you, and how different was he just in terms of his approach to the rest of the batting group?
Oh, look, I mean, he's, I guess, immensely talented. The amount of, I guess, power he has, but the class that he's got, is pretty special. And he's a player that kind of puts pressure from ball one. I think he doesn't have that sense of fear, of being dismissed. But he also uses, I guess, his skill set and his strengths, to put pressure on you as a bowler. He makes sure he uses the right matchups in terms of what's going to get him the most amount of runs. And I guess unfortunately for me, I was probably that matchup throughout the series. So he really tried to take me down every time I kind of came on. But also it was great for me as well because for me it was about going, okay, well, I know that he's going to come and try and take me on. How do I kind of tackle that? And I felt like I did a great job, especially in this last test in Mumbai, where I made sure that I kept it flat to him, kept it quicker, but also kept him guessing on what was coming next. He was still batting really well, and we knew as long as he was at the crease, there was a lot of pressure on us. So yeah, it was about continuing to challenge him and make him, I guess, now start guessing what is coming next and what delivery is going to be coming next at what pace, what length. And it's really, I guess, out the box when it comes to Test cricket because, I mean, Test cricket's all about control and putting the ball in good areas for long periods of time. But sometimes for players like that, if you put two balls in a good area, then the third one's going to go for 4 or 6. So it's about, yeah, I guess challenging them differently to others as you would.
Just a quick follow-up. I mean, you saw him go in Bangalore as well. Is he one of those batters with the most the most attacking batter that you encountered?
He'd definitely be up there. But I mean, I guess throughout my career, I've faced a few. But yeah, certainly he's got the power game, and he's got the touch game as well. So it makes him a dangerous player, and he's very fast on his feet. Whether he's going forward or going back, he moves really well in terms of using the crease and continuing to kind of put pressure on you as a bowler. So yeah, he's a great player, and I think you can't take credit away from him. He's had a great series and batted exceptionally well.
Thanks.
Bishesh, to you.
Yeah, hi Ajaz, congratulations on your victory. I just wanted to know what changes did you make to your bowling from Pune to Mumbai because both the tracks were turning and helping assistance for the spinner. So what particular change did you apply in your bowling? And my second question would be about Rishabh only. All the Indian batters were looking to attack. They were not at a time that they were looking to defend their way out. But what exactly did Rishabh do differently from the other batters that he was so assured at the crease against you specifically?
So from Mumbai and Pune, I guess Pune the surface was a bit slower, so I really had to bowl a lot quicker through the air. So I think we at the same time we look at the speeds in Pune were probably a little bit quicker, and probably used a little bit more side spin in Pune to make sure you could rush the batsman a little bit in terms of pace. Mumbai, I knew that especially with the red clay and the bounce that you're going to get off the surface, I could afford to bowl a little bit slower, but use probably what is one of my strengths is my shape in the air, and use that to my advantage. So I was looking to get a bit more overspin, a bit more 45, and bowl a touch slower to most of the batters, like I say. And in terms of I guess, can we go back to the last question, please?
I was just asking that all the Indian batters were looking to attack you, but it was only Rishabh who was successful. So what differently did he do to the other batters that he was so successful against you specifically?
Yeah, I guess one thing that helped Rishabh was the fact that he was left-handed and the ball was turning in. But at the same time, I wouldn't say like the other batters were overly attacking, but at the same time, I guess the difference with Rishabh was one, I guess he was the man in form, and he was the man that was probably seeing the ball better than most people throughout this whole series. But at the same time, I guess he just used the right options at the right time. Whether it was running down the wicket to a certain ball or sitting back to a different ball. I mean, I had a great battle with him in this Mumbai test where when he was trying to run down, I was getting quicker and flatter, and then once I started slowing him up, knowing that he was in the crease, he then started going back and using that to his advantage. So then it changed me to then have to start bowling quicker again, and those kind of the things, as a bowler and a batsman that you start to think about and really get into the game, and that little bit of cat and mouse between the batter and the bowler. And I guess that's something that he did really well. He read the conditions, and he read, I guess, the style of play that he needed for those conditions. And he batted differently in all the games, to be fair. Like in Bangalore, he took his time and picked the right balls. In Pune, he watched Mitch, knowing that there was a bit more at that end, and then when it came to my end, he looked to make the most of it because I probably wasn't getting as much turn. And then in Mumbai, he looked to kind of take advantage when I was going with a certain plan and use that to his advantage. So, I mean, the man's a very, very good cricketer. He's a special cricketer, and anytime you're up against him, I think you got to watch out, because if he's in form, it's going to be a real challenge.
Eddie, can I ask one more, please?
Yeah, that's fine.
New Zealand have achieved many successful in their cricketing career, like the World Test Championship final. But do you think this is the most significant bilateral series win for you guys? Because beating in India, and India has a feat that no one has achieved before, and especially a series whitewash.
Yeah, it's massive for us. I mean, coming to India and I guess winning the series is huge. I mean, we look back at the Bangalore Test, which wasn't too long ago, and it was the first time we'd won in about 36 years in India. So certainly to then walk away with a series win, and the style of cricket that we've played, and how we've gone about it has been very, very special. And it's certainly going to be one of the greatest series that I've ever been a part of, and I'm sure for a New Zealand touring team, it's going to be right up there as well.
Thanks, Eddie. Congratulations, Ajaz, for the series. Thanks.
KS, over to you.
Hi, Ajaz. Congratulations. Firstly, on the historic win. I just wanted to ask you on lines of what Faisal asked. How would you summarize the month that New Zealand cricket have had from the 3-0 win versus India to White Ferns winning the T20 World Cup as well? I mean, what does it mean for New Zealand cricket in general? And, we heard Daryl Mitchell after the win, and he just said we are a bunch of Kiwis taking on the world. So, what were the conversations like in the New Zealand cricket camp after the 3-0 win? Just tell us, how did it feel at that point in time, and how would you summarize what it means for New Zealand cricket?
Oh, look, I mean, it's been an unbelievable month for New Zealand cricket as a whole. Obviously, what the White Ferns achieved was phenomenal, and we were really, really happy with that result. For New Zealand cricket to get a world title was really cool. But at the same time, obviously, what we've been able to achieve over here in India has been really special as well. So I guess the biggest thing out of this is the support back home has been phenomenal. We've had a lot of support from back home. We've had a lot of messages from back home. And New Zealand as a nation, I guess we live for sport to a certain degree. We love our sport as a community and as a country. So to kind of know that we had so many people glued to the TV over the last few weeks, just watching cricket and loving every moment of it. That's probably what's special as a player. And also, I guess for me, as one of the older guys within the group, I hope it really inspires a younger generation, the future of New Zealand cricket. The girls and the boys who are coming through, who watch or have watched over the last kind of month, and have really been excited to get out there and play cricket. I guess it's come at a great time where our summer's just really kicking off, and it's just before or kind of leading into the home summer. So hopefully when we get back, everyone's out there and out there on the fields playing cricket, and just like we have here in Mumbai, you go to every street, there's a game on. I'd thoroughly love to see that happening in New Zealand as well.
Ajaz, thank you very much, and congratulations once.
Thank you.
Gokul?
Yeah. Congrats, firstly, Ajaz, on an incredible Test series victory. And yeah, going back, you've spoken about this earlier as well. Talk us through the different conditions that you guys have had to adapt from Bangalore 46 all out to a slower pitch in Pune and a red turning track in Mumbai. So, what kind of adaptations did the bowlers, specifically the spinners, have to go through?
Yeah, I mean, it's been three different surfaces in three different games, and I guess we're well aware that's one of the challenges of going to Asia is that the conditions are going to change all the time, and you have to be adaptable. And even within the game, the conditions change very quickly. I mean, even in this Mumbai test, I was bowling, I think, in the first innings, and I felt like I was bowling really well, but the wicket wasn't really turning. And then I came back after lunch, and all of a sudden everything started happening. So, I guess when you come to the subcontinent, it's about having that skill set and that range of being able to, whether it be bowl in the high 90s or bowl in the low 80s. And being able to be adaptable in those ranges, I guess, from the outset. It's also reading the surface quickly because the conditions, like I say, do change at a constant. Sometimes the conditions in the morning can be very different to the conditions in that middle session. And so it's really, as a spinner, it's about knowing how to get the most out of that, how to change your pace, how to go up and down while still having the same ball performance. I guess sometimes what can happen is, I guess if you don't do it the right way, and if you're trying to go up in pace, you lose the revolutions, and so you're not necessarily getting the same ball shape. And what we had was a great winter. If I'm honest with you, we had a great winter back home where we prepared on turning wickets, and we made sure we had different surfaces that we tried and practiced on. So we were, I guess, conditioned to bowling on different surfaces as well. So yeah, it's a lot to do with preparation, but then it's also about backing your skills and kind of I guess, going out there and doing it really.
Right. And one more thing, what is it with you and Mumbai? I mean, 30% of your test wickets have been in Mumbai. What's so special about that place?
Oh, I love this place. If I'm honest with you, it's home. I mean, it's something that really resonates with me. It's somewhere where I was born and I guess grew up when I was a youngster. And I've come back quite a lot throughout my life, especially in New Zealand as well. I've got a lot of family here and a lot of friends here, and it's the polar opposite, if I'm honest, to what Auckland is for me as well. Um, and I guess that's the cool thing about it. When I come here, it's different, and when I go back, it's different. So, yeah, I love everything about Mumbai, and I guess I just feel comfortable. I feel like I'm home, and that's a nice feeling when you come to an away venue.
Right. Thank you so much, Ajaz. Thanks, Eddie.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. We've just got 10 minutes left on the thing. So, Aniket, over to you. We've just got to keep this short and sharp.
Hi, Jazz. First of all, congratulations on your personal performance. So, like, my question is, like, what was Kiwi's mindset before coming to the series after you all have lost 2-0 to Sri Lanka and there was no Williamson as well? And my second question is, like, during the fourth innings, like, when did you all feel like you all can win? Like, was it after Rohit's wicket or Virat Kohli's wicket?
Yeah, I guess our mindset hadn't really changed, to be honest with you. We have a very good culture in terms of how we want to go about our cricket. I think our results don't necessarily define us, it's our actions. And so for us, even though the results really didn't go our way, we felt like we were heading in the right direction and making the right moves and firing the right shots. So coming into the series, nothing really changed. I mean, for us, it was still about going out there and putting up a fight, putting our best foot forward, and making the most of the conditions and I guess the challenges that are in front of us. And in terms of the Mumbai game, I guess I think to win those kind of games, you have to believe from the outset, regardless of whether there's whoever's in front of you. So for us, that belief, I guess, started before we even got out there. We had to believe that the amount of runs we had on the board was enough to win that game. And then obviously when we got a few early wickets, then that belief becomes stronger and you kind of ride that wave as well. But obviously when Rishabh was batting, there was a chance that, he could have taken the game away from us. So I guess in those kind of games and in those kind of chases, it kind of ebbs and flows. It goes in your favour and goes in the opposition's favour. But the important thing is throughout that whole period, it's about keeping the same calmness that you started with and just controlling what you can control and letting the result take care of itself.
So I have another question. Like, what was your game plan against Kohli and other big players?
To be honest, I don't know if I should share that with you because if it goes out into media, then those boys know what I'm going to be doing next time.
Okay. Thank you so much, and congrats.
Thank you.
And finally, Vipul, over to you, mate. Vipul, you've got your hand up.
हेलो दास भाई, हिंदी में क्वेश्चन रहेगा।
Yeah.
मुंबई आपके लिए हमेशा बेस्ट रहा है, आपने 10 विकेटें भी मुंबई में निकाली हैं और मुंबई में इस बार भी कमाल रहा। तो मुंबई की पिच को आप किस तरह देख रहे हैं कि ये आपके लिए बहुत खास हो चुकी है मुंबई की पिच?
हाँ सर, अभी मुंबई की पिच का तो जो आई गेस मेरी स्किल सेट है वो मेरे को सूट करती है और मैं लास्ट टाइम भी सक्सेसफुल रहा तो और लास्ट टाइम काफ़ी ओवर भी डाली तो उसमें मेरे को थोड़ा आइडिया मिल गया कि विकेट में क्या हो सकता है क्या नहीं हो सकता, तो उस हिसाब से फिर बॉलिंग डाली थी। तो आई गेस वो मुझे हेल्प किया ये गेम में खास करके। बॉल विकेट में टर्न था और पेस थी तो वो स्पेशल रहा मेरे लिए। और मुंबई मुंबई है यार, जब भी आता हूँ घर का फील है, घर घर के लोग हैं, फैमिली है, फ्रेंड्स है, तो वो भी थोड़ा हेल्प करता है, थोड़ा कंफर्टेबल फील करते हैं, थोड़ा होमली फील करते हैं, तो वो इजी रहता है फिर गेम खेलना भी।
और 150 रन का जब आपके पास टारगेट दिया था आपने 147 रन का, तो कब माइंड सेट था कि आप इंडिया को सेटबैक कर देंगे? क्योंकि मुंबई वानखेड़े पे भारत भी अच्छा खेलता है, लेकिन आप लोगों ने जिस तरह सेटबैक किया तो आपका पूरा प्रेशर मतलब माइंड सेट था।
हाँ देखो सर, गेम जीतने के लिए आपको विश्वास होना चाहिए। अगर आप बिलीव नहीं करोगे तो फिर वो पॉसिबल नहीं रहेगा और फिर वो दिमाग में भी बैठ जाता है। तो पूरे टाइम हम वही सोच रहे थे कि हम जीत सकते हैं, हम जीत सकते हैं, तो वो रहता है तो फिर आपका माइंडसेट भी क्लियर रहता है, फ्रेश रहता है और अटैकिंग भी रहता है। वरना क्या है कि आप अगर डर के खेलोगे तो फिर ऑपोजिशन के लिए फिर इजी हो जाता है। तो मेन चीज़ ये है कि स्मॉल जब टोटल्स रहते हैं और उसमें आपको डिफेंड करना है तो बिलीव बहुत ज़रूरी है और बिंदास जाके खेलना है, डरना नहीं है।
आखिरी सवाल ये है, कौन से विकेट के बाद भारत की आपको लगा था कि अब मैच आपकी मुट्ठी में आ चुका है? वो एक कौन सा विकेट था?
मेन चीज़ तो ऋषभ भाई और जडेजा की जो पार्टनरशिप थी वो थोड़ा खींच गई गेम को। और जब वो पार्टनरशिप टूटी तो फिर लगा कि शायद चलो ऋषभ भाई तो अच्छी बैटिंग कर रहे हैं, लेकिन दूसरी तरफ से नए बैट्समैन जब आएंगे तो उनके लिए स्टार्ट करना इजी नहीं है। तो अगर स्टार्ट में दूसरे बैट्समैन की एक दो और गिर जाए तो फिर हमारे पास चांसेस है। लेकिन फिर बाद में ऋषभ भाई की भी विकेट मिली तो उसके बाद में भी ऐसा लगा कि चलो अभी और मौका है, लेकिन फिर भी रन कम थे तो ऐसा कभी ऐसा फील नहीं हुआ कि ये मतलब गेम हाथ में आ गया। ये पूरे टाइम ऐसा लग रहा था कि कभी भी कुछ भी हो सकता है।
थैंक यू भाई, कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशन।
थैंक यू।
Recording stopped.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We've only got 2 minutes left on the timer. Sorry, Rajab, so we're going to have to leave it. Thank you. I'll send the recording and the audio out shortly.